it all behind you. I said, take down everything that stands in your way. Don't stop believing it'll work out again, my friend. Stand out and be a part of everything good. Wake up, you're gonna be all that you should. Try out all the things you always wanted to be. You'll see, 'cause I know what I know, that you've got it in you, and I see that you are a winner.
Okay, so this is a short video, and this time I actually intend to make it short. This is a new analogy that I came up with, having to do with what faith would look like in the real world. Christians, you know, you throw out the argument, well, you have no evidence whatsoever to show a God exists. You have no evidence whatsoever to show Jesus actually lived. You know, you have no evidence whatsoever to show that if a God exists, it's your God. You have no evidence whatsoever to show that your book is inspired by your God or any God. You know, there's absolutely no testable, verifiable evidence anywhere. You throw that out, and how does the cornered Christian respond? Well, that's why you have to have faith. The argument of faith. You know, it's funny, but in the real world, that argument is never applicable in any other scenario in the real world. It's only in religion, where they want you to have the mind of a little child. They want you to have magical thinking, and they actually encourage you to be like a little child. Little children are gullible. They believe if a person of authority says so, or if a book says so. They are easily convinced that if there's no explanation, well, magic did it. Yeah, they encourage you to have magical thinking. So, you know, that's the whole thing with faith. You have to be like a little child and just believe. Just have faith. And it's only in religion where that kind of mentality would remotely, and it doesn't even make sense. It's only because people are so brainwashed into thinking that somehow this makes sense. Oh, no, that's where faith comes in. Let's use the whole faith thing in a real world scenario. In the real world, if you are convinced by a very knowledgeable, super nice salesman that a car is wonderful, you buy it. In the real world, you use the car, but it keeps breaking down repeatedly. Do you have faith? It's a wonderful car, and keep telling yourself how wonderful it is. Do you meet with friends once a week to recharge your mental batteries so it's easier for you to truly feel inside how wonderful the car is? Do you feel riddled with guilt every time you catch yourself doubting the car? Or, in the real world, do you become convinced by the growing evidence that the car you were only suckered into thinking is wonderful is actually a piece of shit, costing you money, and so you get rid of it as fast as you can, feeling utter disgust with yourself for letting yourself get suckered in? Faith would look ridiculous in any real-world scenario. Only in religion have those people of authority, with their supposed book of authority, suckered you into thinking it makes any kind of sense. Magic did it. The car is wonderful, and you're a horrible, weak, flawed human being if you dare to think anything otherwise. Now try to imagine you had a friend who actually did that. She got herself a car, and you knew, and everybody else around you saw, this thing was a piece of shit. It was blowing smoke out the engine. It was backfiring as it's coming down the road. It's just making oil all over where its parking spot is. Everybody sees this thing as a piece of shit. But your friend is like, oh my gosh, my car is so wonderful. No, I just don't have enough faith. If I have more faith, then the car will be wonderful. I just have to believe harder. Wouldn't that person look totally ridiculous? Because that's what religious people look like to people on the outside looking in. People from the real world looking at a religious person, that's what faith looks like to them. It looks ridiculous. No, I know, but I just haven't prayed hard enough. It's not that God has failed me. I just didn't have enough faith.